What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Dre, the Brute Daniels, here with some more news. Happy Wednesday to you all. Well, it went down yesterday. James Gunn came on out here and gave us the rundown for the new slate of DC films and television. And I guess this chapter 1 is entitled Gods and Monsters, which ironically is the name of one of the animated films I really don't like. But so I'm gonna go through this, so I'll react and see what I'm thinking, where I'm feeling, and see if any of this is making sense. And I'll pause throughout. Let's jump right into this.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios.
That's correct.
So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time.
Absolutely.
It's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation.
Okay, so I agree with all that. Clean up this mess. What he's saying is DC is a hot mess. I will not argue against that whatsoever. Talk to me, James. What you got?
The characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds.
Okay, so they're labeling anything that isn't part of their story as Elseworlds, which I think is fine, so that there can still be creative branches for other things. So I like that. I think that's kind of cool. So it doesn't just stifle all the other creatives that are involved. So that's cool. I agree.
Outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash.
Okay, so Shazam's moving in part of the old guard. Okay.
Fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So the next few films, Shazam, Flash, there is the restart. Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2, they're all just here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is just, hey, let's just get these out the way. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters.
Okay, like I said earlier, I don't really like that title. But it's okay. So he's confirming the 8 to 10 year plan, so that's good. All right, let's see.
Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action.
I think that's brilliant. I honestly think that's really brilliant. It'll be seamless that way. Having everybody still play the same characters and stuff and animated so you can continue to move the characters over. I think that's brilliant. I like that.
The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it.
Okay, so Waller's getting her own spinoff, or is it just? I guess it's not a spinoff because they're just using Viola Davis. I guess they're just trying to create a new story around her. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's not going into detail about all the ins and outs. So okay, I'll take it with a grain of salt. That sounds like a fun idea.
Okay, Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
Okay, so July 11th, 2025 is the new Superman film that's currently being written. But that's supposed to be the start of the DCU? So the other two shows aren't? Oh boy.
Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Okay, so I think that's kind of cool. Having a cop show about Earth being the whole city, as far as a cop show is concerned, for the Green Lantern Corps, that sounds like it's going to be pretty dope. I like that idea. That sounds like a good idea.
Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine.
Clearly.
It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea who any of those characters are at all. He said it was a passion project. I've never heard of it. So it could be something new, something I'm just not that familiar with. Might be something that's come out in the last few years I haven't read.
You're so dumb.
No clue.
Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman.
Okay, so Paradise Island, I guess there's not a whole lot that's prepared yet. He didn't really say what it's going to be about. Okay.
Is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book.
That should be good.
Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's fun. I'm not a fan of Damian Wayne personally, but that sounds good. That sounds like a good starting off point. We're not starting off with a new Batman. He's just learning how to be Batman, whatever. We're dealing with a seasoned Bruce Wayne, grown man who's had adventures. That's okay with me.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series.
That makes sense. I'm personally not a huge fan of Booster Gold. I've talked about it in the past, but he's not horrible. I think that idea could be fun. I think an imposter syndrome show will be interesting, especially with that character. So that might be nice.
One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character.
Of course.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway.
So with the Supergirl thing, I got no problem with that. don't like the idea of we doing the jaded thing, because I don't want some brooding, angry Supergirl thing. I really don't want that. That doesn't sound like a good time to me. But if it can be done well, and it could be well crafted and well written, for her to be interesting and not just brooding, I hate everything and I'm the best, you know, the usual tropes. That could be nice. Swamp Thing, I've never been a fan of Swamp Thing. I know he had a TV show that I definitely didn't watch at all, and apparently not a lot of people watched it either. But hey, if they're bringing it back, I think Swamp Thing's more of a side character than a main character. That's my thoughts.
Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something
That's true.
very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique.
Oh boy.
Something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us.
I won't argue with
I want
that.
to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you, because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, James. Thank you. So that was interesting. That was, for me, is a bit of a mixed bag. I like some of the ideas that's coming down the pipe. I like what they're going to do with the Green Lantern Corps. I think that's going to be unique. A cop show with the Green Lanterns and Earth being the city. I like that. What they're doing with Batman and doing a seasoned Batman, no new reboot stuff. I think that's gold. I really like that. I'm not sure what they're doing with the Themyscira. That concerns me. Booster Gold should be decent. Can't really go wrong. Whatever they're doing with the the currently finished slated films, to me sounds like a complete waste of time to their bigger scale. But I guess they're trying to pull some money, which they need. So, you know, big ups to them for that. But a couple of the obscure things, I think that's nice to bring obscure characters that not even I know about. So that's cool. Swamp Thing I can do without, and I hope Supergirl's not just a brooding mean lady. So that's all I got. And what do you guys think about this slate and this announcement? Let me know in the comment section below, and do all those great YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. As always, you guys have been awesome. I'll catch you all next time. Also, if you want to support my channel, check out spinwiz.com or download the SpinWiz app and check out my comic series, Trouble. It was written with a lot of love, and it was definitely my favorite comic series to write. I've also written it in English and in Spanish, so whatever floats your boat, I got it for you. Thanks again, and check it out.